Joe, not the only coaching news. Dell McGee, the running backs coach for Georgia, is heading to Georgia State. Our good friend Graham Coffey over at Dog Nation reported that before everybody else, and he didn't get any of the credit. But on this show, we're going to give Graham Coffey his due there. Thoughts of Dell McGee being hired as the next Georgia State coach? And a two-part question here. Dude, Kirby is the living Nick Saban. These coaching departures and hires that he makes is showing why he's the bowl cut Nick Saban. That's the truth.
I'd actually go as far as to say his coaching tree might be more successful than Saban's. Because imagine this early on in Saban's coaching tenure, how many guys did he have leave to take jobs and they hit the ground running? And then also here's the craziest part. A lot of those guys were much, much younger coaches that have taken opportunities and done well already. Fran Brown hasn't even started yet, and he's recruited his ass off at Syracuse. It sucks at Syracuse. There isn't shit to do in that cold nothingness area in goddamn northern New York. And he's recruiting kids to go play there. And then on top of that, Dan Lanning has been amazing at Oregon. Amazing at Oregon.
Technically, Dan Lanning is a Saban prodigy.
But he was the defensive coordinator. Yeah, but most recently he was defensive coordinator.
The problem with all of that, and I love my Georgia Bulldog faithful here, the problem is that you can't say that his coaching tree is better when he can't when you literally got the coach that came from Saban's coaching tree.
But it's a separate tree, though. It's a branch, and then there's a separate tree. Really. It was a seed that fell off the tree, and the other tree is already starting to grow really big really quickly.
I mean, technically, all of this comes from Bill Parcells. If you really think about it.
And then who hired Bill Parcells? Who hired Bill Parcells?
I honestly
do we need to go back to Adam and Eve here? Like, do we?
I think Bill Parcells. Stupid that gets? I think it all just comes down from Bill Parcells. But I get what you're saying. Your thoughts really quickly on Dell McGee, and then what you think more on what Kirby has done here. I think it's a concern, which I'll talk about, but continue.
I just think it's really hard for a G5 program to steal away an assistant coach like this, and to get Dell McGee is so freaking great. I also think that when you're so successful at a place like Georgia, even as a running backs coach, like that is transferable to a program like Georgia State. It's all about culture. It's all about the core that you build there. But I still stand by, I really think that Kirby is really building a unreal coaching tree of guys that are going to go on to be great head coaches in college football. I'm not worried though. Like I don't really think that there's anything to worry about, because he's just going to find the next guy. Like, how many times has he just found the next guy? He's been developing coaches.
I agree with that. But can I give one caveat?
Yeah.
I agree that we have seen Saban do it and go on and win a national title when he's had this much staff turnover. You hadn't really seen Kirby do it. And I do think there has to be something to be said when you have that much staff turnover. There has to be question marks. Because
no.
Yes, Joe, have you ever seen him go through this much staff turnover? Joe, literally, think about this.
Wait, but what red flags would that bring up? Like, what are you implying?
But it's not red flags. What's their standard? What's Georgia's standard right now? It's to
win a national title.
And if they don't again, and there's a position group that struggles that historically didn't, running back, that had this many issues, like, Joe, what if Trevor Etienne is really struggling coming out of the gate?
I would argue maybe that has more to do with the offense than it does with the new running back.
When you had that much staff turnover, could it have anything to do with that much staff turnover happening? Now, I do lean on the side of you, though. Let me make my point clear here.
Okay.
I do lean on the side of you. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate. I think that they're probably going to win a natty. But I'm just trying to play devil's advocate on everybody else in the country has this kind of staff turnover. It's a problem.
I don't, okay, but staff turnover at other programs doesn't happen the same way it happens for Georgia because they're not all, there's only been so many programs the last 30 years that have won multiple national titles consecutively. Like them losing guys is just the fact of they have aspirations to become head coaches, and all of these other programs are like, we want a piece of that. We want to get somebody that's been a part of a winning national championship winning program. So we're going to hire guys. I think a positive way to look at this is very rarely do they very rarely lose assistants to go take coordinator jobs. And they also very rarely lose, like there's a lot of success. Like a lot of guys move up within the staff. It feels like.
Saban.
Yeah. Which is why I'm not worried.
Yeah, but it's different when somebody else enacts it. I agree with you, though. I will just be curious to see if there's any kind of lingering effects. Because, look, man, Georgia's got a really brutal schedule now.
Yeah. I mean,
Joe, right now, they play 5 ranked opponents. That's more than anybody in the country. So, I mean, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be somebody in their schedule that is going to be ranked that they're not thinking that they you know, Joe, what happens if Florida's ranked? I went over this on my the new SEC show that we're doing on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not 1,000% sure that you don't have a 4-2, 5-2 Florida going up against.
Oh, now Georgia. You're in the boat of saying that Florida's going to.
No. I said that they're going to be 4-8, 5-7 again. No, but Joe, we literally did that last year. Remember for the largest cocktail party, we were like, hey man, Florida's 5-2. Graham Mertz is coming off a performance where he threw for over 350 yards. I mean, we legitimately did that a year ago. So Florida could be Joe. If Florida's 5-2, are you 1,000% sure that they're going to leave a 5-2 SEC team unranked?
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.